So speaking of that, speaking of branding, speaking of spending money, speaking of never being outdone, and speaking of most importantly impact. I know you watch Market Mondays just like everybody else watches Market Mondays. And you called and said, "Look, man, I can't be outdone." So we did something a few weeks ago, and I think you want to kind of tee it up. I'll tee it up for you. You can make the announcement.
Oh man.
Absolutely. So listen, as Rashad said, I cannot be outdone. So just because a bigger business, and again, this is inspiration, right? For everyone, just because a bigger business, did it, right? That doesn't mean that smaller businesses also can't take their resources and actually contribute. So I want to sponsor 100 tickets, general admission tickets, 50% off. Right. So listen, they did it. I'm doing it too. I cannot. That's
impressive.
Be outdone, right? As well as 10 vendor booths, 50% off. You pay 50%, I pay 50%. Okay. So I want to make sure that, and when you guys see me, say hi to me, right? I pay 50%.
For real. This is
say
thank you.
That's a fact. But you said something that was extremely insightful. You gotta help, because like even somebody like I gave somebody a vendor booth and I realized like, I don't really want to give them a vendor booth. Pay, because you got to have some skin in the game.
Yes.
Well, it's not appreciated.
Yeah.
Right. When you give something to somebody and they have no skin in the game at all, then they have it's really it's not valuable. It doesn't hold any value. Yeah. So it's like, for you to do 50% off, I think that's extremely generous. And I mean that you put people in a position where it's like, okay, if I'm serious, if I'm really trying to level up, if I'm trying to meet somebody and I might have had some economic challenges or hurdles, this is an opportunity that I'm given, right? So we want to greatly appreciate it. The code is CPA. Also, that's easy. CPA. 3 letters. CPA.
CPA. Yes. That is CPA. So easy. What I also want to do for anyone that purchased a ticket, because if you're in the building, you want to invest, you're a business owner, and most people, right, they are going to, and for those of you who do not know me, I am a CPA, right? I'm an accountant. And so my main goal all the time is to help you all save on taxes. And why? Because the more money you keep in your pocket, the more money you have to invest in your business, the more money you have to invest in the market, the faster you will get to your dream life, right? And so what I'm also, for the first 100 people, right, that use that code CPA to get that 50% off, I want to give you a training that will help you and educate you on how to use your business to save on taxes. And I'm also going over the tax changes that have the big beautiful bill, all of the changes, all of the changes in the big beautiful bill. So I go over that in the training, because obviously, what was going to work last year is not going to work this year based on those changes. So you need to know that. And so I want to throw that in there as well.
Over deliver.
So let's just take a moment. You go to investfest.com. If you enter code CPA, the first 100 people for general admission tickets. We can't do VIP. That's done. But we could do general admission tickets, 50% off. You enter code CPA, and the first 10 vendor booths. If you enter code CPA, you get 50% off, and you will also get the video that Ms. Businesses spoke about as far as how she's detailing how to save money, business strategies, going over the big beautiful bill. I mean, especially if you live in the South Atlanta, Georgia area, I think you should definitely take advantage of it. 3 weeks left. This is one of the most important, if not the most important, Invest Fest ever. We're talking about artificial intelligence and everything else. And before you leave, I gotta ask a tax question. From the big beautiful bill, what's one thing that you can kind of highlight to be like, okay, this is something that you guys should be aware of?
Oh, one thing, it's bonus depreciation. We have bonus depreciation back at 100%. I have been dying for it, because bonus depreciation was enacted in 2018. However, if you purchase something September 27th, 2017, you were able to use bonus depreciation, meaning that you can purchase an asset, and instead of writing it off or depreciating it over its asset life, you could now take 100%. Right. So remember, we actually did that episode on Market Mondays, which has millions of views, right? Talking about the 6,000 pound rule. Now, what happened was that started to phase out in 2022. So it started to phase out in 2022. So every year after that, it started to decrease by 20%. So this year, we were actually only able to take 40%. Right, of the asset value. So let's say you purchased a truck for $100,000, you would have only been able to write off $40,000 in that year. Now we're back to 100%, and so that is a major game changer for the Big Beautiful Bill. So I think that is like my favorite. I think the tips and the no tax on tips and the no tax on overtime, to me, I think they could have done better because you still have to pay state taxes and payroll taxes on that money. So yes, and then it's also capped. So it's not really like my favorite. Will you benefit? Yes, but not much. So
That's a great update. The last time I think we spoke over the summer about how the depreciation was going to change, and so I'm with you. I'm happy because the end of the year is coming up, and so we got to have our annual call.
Yes, definitely
Right.
have to have that tax planning call. So that depreciation, and then for those of you in real estate, that's major, right? Because if you're doing real estate and you're doing cost seg, I really feel like we need to have a whole separate class about this. But doing real estate, it also allows you to take more of a depreciation expense. So we definitely have to pay attention to the tax code is necessary. Listen, make sure that you guys are in my class on Friday at InvestFest at 1:35. We have 2 hours. So I get to really teach. This isn't a panel. This is me really being able to teach you guys and really hear from you guys and touch you guys. And I'm excited for InvestFest this year. A very different approach, but I'm excited. I think it's going to be way more impactful. You'll see us. Trust me, you guys will see us. Have a whole street team.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you wholeheartedly.
This business, always a pleasure. Thank you so much. Ian, do you have a tax question?
Not yet. Well, not publicly, but privately.
Text me, Ian. Text me.
Well, how can we get more depreciating assets?
Miss Business, always a pleasure. Thank you so much. And yes, definitely be sure to the website and the app. The Runner Show will be available this week, I think Wednesday. So make sure you plan out your trip accordingly. But I would not, if I was you, if Miss Business is teaching for 2 hours, that's something that you need to be there for sure.
I do have a question though about branding. We're at the awards. Regal as always. Can you talk about the importance of how that plays into your brand and all the extra giving that you're doing? Because I feel like not only will you outspend, you'll outgive. Can you talk about how they all tie in together to keep a customer or a client in your ecosystem longer?
Absolutely. So I feel like people notice what you're doing. They notice how you're showing up. And I always that's my biggest thing. I want to be in the room. I want to show up. I want to give back. I want to touch people. So when I'm showing up in any way, whether it's with my peers or with my clients, I just want to be authentic. I want to help. So like, for instance, the award show, I sponsored the award show, Melanin Money. I didn't even know I was going to win. I didn't have a speech. I didn't have anything. Thank you. But I sponsored that because you have to have brand awareness. And what I always do is I look at bigger companies. Bigger companies are spending money to be in places. And I don't try to recreate the wheel. I don't reinvent it. If bigger companies are saying, listen, I need visibility and they are that big, why do I think that I don't need to go the extra mile to make sure that my company name and my name is in every room and I'm there and I'm networking and I'm collaborating and connecting? It all matters because the reality is relationships are going to make you way more money. right? It's going to make you way more money. And so I think when people just see me, and that's what people always tell me, like, I feel you, like, I feel how genuine you are. And you can't really cheat that, right? People are watching, they see you. And so I just stay true to my brand. I feel like I'm only blessed because I'm a blessing. And so I just stay true to that. And
it's a blessing to be a blessing. And then also somebody else is going to be at InvestFest, Carter, speaking of Melanin Money. He posted something actually in regards to the big, beautiful bill with the 529 plans. And, 529 plans is something that when I started as a financial advisor, I was selling a lot of 529 plans. And it was very restrictive at that time. But that's been loosened up throughout the years, and Trump loosened it up even more. So now you can do $20,000 a year, apparently.
Yes.
Apparently. Yes. Is that correct?
I believe it's 40,000
per couple.
Yes.
Yeah. So in the individual, you could do 20,000 a year. You can use it for curriculum and tutoring. You can use it for trade certificates and license. You can use the money for special education therapy. You can use the money for online platforms. You can use the money for workforce credentials. So this was, for a long time, it was very rigid where you couldn't use 529 for homeschool. You couldn't use 529 for a lot of things outside of college. Biden, I think Biden changed it where you can use it for like K through 12 education. Mm-hmm. But before that, you couldn't even use it for K through 12 education,
secondary education.
So it's becoming. But I also think that speaks a lot about the times that we're in and how people are redefining education. Right, like college is not the only pathway. It's not the only. So it's like that's something that's in the big beautiful bill that I think parents should be aware of. As well as like you can put more money into 529s and you can use that, especially the special education therapy. I think that's big. There's a lot of people with autism. There's a lot of kids that have IEPs. Mm-hmm. That's something that's real big. So as far as advocating for your child and making sure they have the right resources so they can be successful in life, doing it in a tax advantaged manner, right? That's the whole point of the 529 is that you don't have to pay taxes on the growth if you use it for those purposes. That's big for parents to fully understand.
Yeah, I think that, as you said, I think that they are aware that this money is there. Right. And so what else can we allow parents to use this money for? And I think, and I always say, like, everyone has to start thinking in taxes. I don't care whether you want to or not. Everyone's highest bill is taxes, right? Whether it's income, payroll, property, sales tax, freaking gift tax, death tax. There's so many different taxes. So we can't ignore it. Right. So we have to start thinking in taxes. What can I do so therefore I can get a tax advantage and still get the benefit? That's how we always need to be thinking. So if and I get this question from parents all the time, I need to pay tuition. What can I do? Now you can invest in that 529 plan because, as you mentioned, it's not as rigid as it was before, and they are opening it up. Why? And we always have to think why, right? Why are they doing this? They're doing this because they want more of our money invested in the market. And if you say, hey, I'm going to take some of my money and then invest it in this 529 plan, then guess what? They now have you invested. They now have your money in there. And what does that do? That stimulates the economy. So I always tell everyone when it comes to the tax code, it really is just them saying, hey, how can we get people to do what we want them to do? And that's okay. We look at it and we use it to our advantage, right? Because they're going to use it to their advantage.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. And the Runner Show is actually live right now on the app and on the website. So the Runner Show is live right now. Okay. But Ms. Business, thank you. Once again, you can go to investfest.com, enter code CPA at checkout. And Ms. Business will be covering the first 100 people, 50% off general admission tickets, and the first 10 vendors, general admission tickets. And there's actually 21 vendor booths left, 10 by 10. So those will sell out before InvestFest.
Tell them the code again. Tell them the code.
CPA.
Yep.
But we will see you in a couple of weeks. Thank you so much. And I'm definitely going to be at the workshop for sure.
I will be there. We got to take our annual. We got to take our annual picture. We have to do that.
Yes. I will see you guys in a few weeks. I am leading up to InvestFest. I'm going to be working. So I will see you guys there. Thank you for having me. I look forward to just making the vendor marketplace like an experience that has never been done before. So
That's
No
incredible.
problem.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
The queen of the
You're welcome.
marketplace.
Yes. Vendor
All right,
marketplace.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
The Brooks Alliance Vendor Marketplace.
Wow.
That's fire.
Think about that, man. 7 years ago, we were in a dining room, sitting down with Miss Business, going over Kanye West. And 7 years later, here we are. She's the queen of the marketplace, sponsoring tickets. This is an incredible journey to watch, man. I'm super proud of her.
Well, life's golden rule is you keep it real with a person that keeps it real with you.
Yeah,
True.
So we had this business as the first guest,
absolutely.
Earn Your Leisure, and she helped our platform and we helped her business. And she didn't forget that, and we didn't forget that. And now 7 years later, she's coming back as a major sponsor.
It's crazy.
And doing a variety of different things, right? So that's important. Like relationships
Matter.
Relationships matter. And as Ian says, the biggest return on investment is a long-term hold.
For
You
sure.
you don't even know what the potential of
That relationship is going to be.
if you ruin it. Like, let's say, okay,
like all jokes aside, like if we talk about some of the things Trump has done well in that tech bro circle, they've held on to those relationships for 15 and 20 years and end up benefiting from him being in office now.
Facts.
Most of the tech initiatives, they didn't even plan to do anything in government, but relationships took them a long way. And it's to burn a bridge, it's hard to replace a bridge, but a great bridge that works, mistake.
Facts.